Chapter 7. Beware of the Shusher. Shh. Egan had spent the rest of the week spelling every word he could think of until the big day finally arrived. Egan stood on stage in the auditorium. Unfortunately, he had to stand next to Meredith because they were from the same class. Miss Battlesty sat in the front row with the other two spelling bee judges, the school librarians, and another second-grade teacher named Miss Eccles. Behind them sat the second-grade students who were not in the bee, and behind them sat parents and family members. "Thank you all for coming today," Miss Eccles announced with a smile. "I'm sure you're eager to see our little speller give it their best shot. So bee began," she said. The librarian looked over the top of her glasses and inspected the 12 second graders lined up on the stage. Jake Story, Jill Deco, Olivia Simonson, Neil Chikins, Howard Adams, Jane Romata, Wilma Eisner, Alan Moore, Stan Canby, Kerbiger, Dara Same, Meredith Mooney, and Adrian. They stood side by side, ready for whatever worldly word awaited then trick them with lanes, short vowels, and slangs. "When is your turn? Please step forward. I will read you a word and use it in the sentence. You will then spell the word. You will only have one chance to spell it correctly. Good luck to all of you." And for that, the ultimate spelling bee finally began. "Jill Deco," the librarian announced. Jill stepped forward. He smiled at the librarian. She did not smile back. Spelling was very serious business. Jill adjusted his glasses. "Your word is sound," said the librarian. "Don't make a sound." Jill lit covers and he started to sweat. His hands nervously tapped his chin. Sound. 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 Jill let out a sigh and then smiled. "Correct," said the librarian. Only one by one each of the students stepped forward and was challenged by the librarian and her word of strictness. "Correct, incorrect, incorrect, incorrect," the librarian said. Boom, boom, boom. And just like that, Wilma Eisner, Alan Moores, and Neil Chakins were out. "Egan McGoley," said Egan, the librarian called out. Egan felt his feet were made of glue and he was walking through mud. He dragged himself to the edge of the stage, his heart pounding in his chest. I wonder if Super Dudes was this nervous when he battled the exclamation pointer for control of Grammarponia in Super Dudes number 22. Eugene thought. He couldn't help but smile at the memory of Super Dudes defeating the pointer. "Go, Eugene!" Charlie called out from the audience. "Shh!" cried the librarians. "Shush!" cried the librarian. She raised a finger to her lip and glared at Charlie. "Oh, my underworld!" The shocking thought suddenly hit Eugene. Why didn't I see it before? Crazy as it sounded, Eugene hadn't recognize the librarian until that moment. He had been to the library dozens of times, but today was the first time he ever seen the librarian without the fingers, her lip, and saying, "Shush." The librarians had the ability to make any student go silent with a more glance. And if her later stares didn't work, she unleashed the awful fury of the super Josh. And now here she was, judging the spelling bee. Evil is full of surprises. Eugene thought. It's all made sense now. The librarian was in fact a shusher, an evil dude, Brad Badris, who kept kids quiet in the library and tricked them into misspelling words. Miss Battlesea and Miss Eagles had no idea what evil was lurking in the chair right next to them. Eugene had to warn them, but how? Oh, the Sunnyview Superhero Squad hopping food code. It's the only hope. Ethan began to hop and down on one foot. People in the announcements start to giggle. Shush, the librarian says, whipping her fingers up her lip. The announced audience silence grows silent. Everyone knew better than to mess with a shusher. Hop left twice, small hop, big hop, left hop, hop hop. Charlie said to himself as he trotted Agent Hopping Code to the ladder. Just much dumb muggy. Charlie read back to himself, then smacked his forehead. Oh, I wish I paid more attention to Agent when he explained the Sunnyvale Superhero Squad hopping foot code to me. He groaned. Agent, is something wrong? Do you have to go to the bathroom? Miss Battlesea asked, concerned. Agent Hop stopped hoping. Next time, I'll make sure Charlie pay more attention when I explain the Sunnyview Superhero Squad hopping foot code to him. Agent thought. No, Miss Battlesea, Agent said with a sigh. I'm ready for my word. Your word is history. The judge read from his list. History, Agent replied. He closed both eyes. Histore? Or why? Ethan opened one eye to time to see Charlie burst from the chair. Go, Age! Shush! The shusher hissed, cutting Charlie's off mid-chair. Charlie fell back into her chair. Eugene couldn't help but smile. He, his spelling, his super spelling powers work were perfect, were working perfectly, and his heart starting doesn't didn't hurt either. Chapter 8. Even favorite word. Howard Adams got nervous and added an extra L to the word Veldims. He had to sit down. Olivia Simonson spelled chat correctly and gave a happy squeal. Then it was Murdy's turn. Just watch and learn, Eugene. Murdy snorted at Eugene. She took her place at the center stage. Hello, my name is capital M. Murdith, capital M. Mooney. I'd like to thank you all for coming to share in my victory. You haven't won yet, dear. You still have to spell your word correctly, Miss Meadowsea politely reminded Murdith. Oh, please, that's the easy part, Murdith replied. Murdith, your word is mine, the librarian says. What? Murdith get an easy peasy word like mine? Charlie whispered to Sally. It's like her favorite word. Mine, 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 mine. Mine. G. What could the last letter be? Eugene says, pretending not to know. Oh, I don't know. Could it be E? Mine. As in, the spelling bee trophy is mine. Meredith stuck her tongues out at Eugene and strolled back to her chair. Bell whistles alarm. Now, not in the auditorium, but in Eugene's head. How could, how did he not see it before? While other students had to dodge through the maze of words a million letters, Meredith got to spell each word like mine. It could be only one thing. The Shusher and little Miss Sneaky Pinky were working together to make sure evil outspelled the first of good. Time to teach the Shusher and little Miss Sneaky Pinky to a new word, Eugene thought, and that word is Captain Awesome. Eugene paused. Wait, that's two words, isn't it? Eugene leaped from his chair and shouted, Me tea! Chapter 9. Goodness Must Win. Are you feeling all right, Eugene? Miss Battlesty asked as she walked Eugene back to his chairs on the stage. You don't have to continue with a spelling bee if you don't want. Oh, I want to. All right. Eugene says, a big smile on his face. I know what the Shusher and Miss Sneaky Pinky are up to. You are such a weirdo. Ear Jim, Meredith whispered the moment Eugene sat down. A weirder for truth, just think. And no more easy peasy word for the bad guys during the spelling bee, you mean? Eugene replied. The next round of spelling bees went by in the blur. Incorrect, correct, incorrect, 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 the shusher announced. Kids were dropping faster than candy from the piñata. Jill Deco out. Jane Ramada out. Dora Sims out. Stan Kirby out. Soon there were only four kids left. Jake Story, Olivia Simonson, Meredith, and Eugene. Eugene was nervous, even more nervous than the time he first tried to spell pea soup. It felt like the butterfly in his stomach had built a ginormous roller coaster, and they were screaming in delight as they do loop after loop after loop inside his tummy. Jake's story, the chancellor says, your word is brownies. As in the librarian decided to brownies the shelf for the right book. Jake ran the hand through his red hair, which was combed back over his head. Brownies. Browze. Brownies. Incorrect, the judge says. We love you, Jackie. Jack's mom called out from the audience. The judge's fingers was about to shoot up to her lip, but she stopped midway and lowered it slowly. Even the bad guys understand it's pretty cool to let your son know you love him, Agent thought. Jake waved to his moms and dads and went back to his seat. Olivia Simonson was next. She spelled the word millions incorrectly. Olivia went to sit to Jake, leaving Meredith and Eugene. You might as well join them, you lose, Meredith says. There's no way you can outspell me. You never beat me, Eugene says. Goodness must win. Huh, yeah, right. You can't even spell victory, Meredith snorted. Eugene opened his mouth but then stopped. I hate it when she's right, he thought. Next up, Meredith Mooney, the searcher announced. Your word is victory. Victory belongs to the hero. Victory. Victory. Meredith yawned. Victory. She proved it on her foot and practically skipped back to her chairs, and then she heard it. Incorrect, the judge says. Apparently, Judith couldn't spell victory either. Judith froze. She instantly spun the face to Judge. No, I can't be wrong. Check again. I'm sorry, Judith, but you spelled the word incorrectly, the judge explained. Did not. Did so. Agent couldn't help but smile. He loved it when bad guys argued with each other. Murdy, we can discuss this later, but sit down for now. Miss Loyalty sat in the calm voice. Murdy's face turned rather than the tomato. It was a look her moms and dad knew very well, and they covered their ears. But the exploded ter- name, but the exploded train never came. No shout, no scream, no stomping. Rudy smoothly her dress quietly sat down and somehow managed not make another sound. Although she still looked like she was going to explode.